Hello and welcome to the DM's Book Club, a book club podcast where we talk about some Dungeons and Dragons and discuss how we might include it in our role-playing campaigns. With me, as always, is Hamilton.
Hello.
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 Yes, it's a slightly more impromptu one because I am in a different space.
You
So if you
are.
can hear yes, I am in my childhood bedroom. Hamilton can see some various toys at the back. I think that's
Yes.
a TY over there.
A
Uh,
TY. Oh, like a
a Beanie
Beanie Baby.
Baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always call them TYs, and a few other bits and pieces. Thankfully, you can't see all the other guff
Is that
around.
because it sounds slightly cooler than Beanie Baby? Is that why you
Well,
call them
I
that?
was always cooler than no at all. How are you doing, Hamilton?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I think
You
we've
think?
been having some exciting chats recently, and I probably got myself all over excited about things, but
No.
it's classic Hamilton. Like in the worlds of the D's and D's and the TTRPGs and everything like that, I think it's been a pretty
Mm.
good forcing some boundaries at the moment, which is
Mm.
exciting. I'm
Yeah,
hearing that some Blade Runner is being some edited, so that's exciting.
very exciting.
Doing some Warhammer stuff, so that's been exciting, and I could get higher and higher and higher, but it's all getting exciting. So yeah. And we got Pirate Borg next week as well. So I've got lots of things going on. So I'm quite happy place TTRPG wise. What about you?
We're doing really good in tabletop stuff in general. Yeah, because I've been getting on with my too long didn't read tabletop RPG series,
You
which has been
have,
quite
yeah.
fun. Weirdly starting to have some comments on some of those things, which have been very positive comments. Because I wasn't
Mm,
expecting any comments, because obviously why would anyone comment on a live stream that's just gone? But people seem to
yeah.
be interested, which is quite nice. And yeah, I've got some games coming up. Obviously, time of recording, I've got the first episode of the Alien campaign happening on Thursday. Yeah, so
Season 2, any
season
nominated?
2. Bah,
Crit Award nominated. Crit Award
Yeah,
nominated.
no, yeah, sorry. Any award is for our other friends.
His other friends. Your Crit Award. Sorry, I forget which awards
No,
my
it's
friends have all got, where I've got
I
none,
know.
by the way. No
Not
awards for me.
none yet. Well, but Bowie isn't out yet, is it? So that's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll
We
see.
might get like World Stupidest Idea Award or something like that.
Not true, not true. But as you said, it's been a very exciting time or interesting time in the D&D space, because we now in what I would call almost like a book a month. The stuff, so
Yeah,
stuff that was sort of announced last year is
mm,
now sort of is coming out. So obviously,
finally.
so obviously we've got Big B's Giants book coming out next month. We've got
Hmm.
Pandelver.
Hmm.
We've also got the Book of Many Things, which we'll talk about. But today we thought we just have a check in and chat, because obviously the one that we're sort of more excited for, or not more, most excited for, I think, is the Planescape box set, which has finally been sort of announced that it's coming
Mm,
out October, I believe. And
yeah.
it's a very similar box set to Spelljammer. So we thought we'd have a quick chat about it and what are our hopes for it, what we're liking from the very, very tiny little bit of sort of teaser text they've been giving us. So I thought,
Yeah.
yeah, we just chat about that, really.
Well, exactly. Well, as everyone on this show knows, that I'm a massive fan of Planescape, and I've been waiting for it to come back since they said we're bringing something new back, which turned out to be Spelljammer over 2 years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
think that we saw those reveals. But when it was revealed last year, very excited. We've all obviously done the realms, the outer realms, and Outlands is
Yeah.
coming soon, and our Sigil one is coming soon, which is in good time
Yeah,
because
can't believe it.
because we finally get round to it being on time by it being like a year. We started recording those in January 2022, which is
2022. I can't believe it. Absolutely can't believe it. Even before Planescape, this box set
mm,
was even announced or even thought about, we were doing it because it was sort of you going,
yeah,
let's do this, and then
yeah,
we feel very current, which is lovely.
exactly. Finally, we were ahead of the time and now
We've
current,
done
which is
it.
kind of good. Yay! It's interesting. The thing that I've noticed different from the announcement
Mm.
was the fact that they had a very cool, like blue 80s sort of line gradient image for Planescape, but they've sort of got rid of that. The alt
Mm.
cover is very cool, but is much more like mechanical, golden,
Mm.
clockworky, which I'm a bit. It's kind of it's a bit like gothic RuneScapey, I guess, sort of look to it. I don't know what else to
Mm.
call it. I don't know, but I love the new art style. It is still D Terralitzi, which is awesome,
Yes.
but I love how he's brought a new spin on it still, and his art style has grown because he did the Spiderwick Chronicles, which I didn't know, and
Mm.
a lot of people big fans of those, and I think his art style sort of developed through that. But the main front cover is very cool because it's both of
Yeah.
them Lady of Pain, but Lady of Pain striking a pose in
Yeah.
her blade, sort of stone face mask, blade face look, which
Mm.
is Super cool.
Again, obviously we know it because we've done Sigil now as part of our travel book club, but actually, obviously, it's in Sigil itself, and you can see it's part of the ring.
Yeah, you
up.
can see that on the you don't see that on the front cover, weirdly. You just see it sort of slightly disappear and then clouds, but then on the Sigil and Outlands book, you get the halo.
That's what I'm
thing.
looking at just now. Yeah, so I was that's that for me. I know, which is such a minor thing, but obviously if you don't know anything about Planescape, this idea that obviously having it's basically a ring. We described it in our episode, which is out on Dragon just now, but obviously will be out on our channels shortly. Is a donut. The inside of a donut is where Sigil is, or inside of a tire. So that's why I saw it. I was this Sigils and Outlands cover. I was like, oh, I know what that is, like a little nerd looking at it. But it's incredibly striking in general. And as you said, it's got the original illustrator coming back and doing their new designs and stuff like that. And the same with the alt covers as well, using that. So, and I think that was really good, because obviously I know there's a tendency to keep using Hydro 74, which is fine. Like I quite like their work, but I think for this it makes sense that you want the sort of the old feels of Planescape updated for a modern audience, and so working within that style.
I think alt covers should be unique and not have the same artist unless the artist is really versatile, which I think Hydra has a level of versatility, but I think the strength would come if they could literally say, hey, each alt cover's done by a really great artist. Like, they've got so many MTG artists on the books who are all really talented on top of D&D ones. And I think like the 3 books when they redid the white cover Multiverse books, beautiful alt covers, love those. Completely different styling and stuff. So
those felt like art books that you put out on a coffee table, didn't they?
100%. Yeah. The maps I found is the same artist who did the Dragonlance maps.
I was going to say, because we're currently reading through Dragonlance for another episode at Data Point, and I could see the similarities, even though the images that you shared in our Discord, I was like, oh, enhance. My eyes are so small. I
can find their name because it will upset me if I don't mention them, because I had a brief interaction with them. So I thought it was Devon Rue, because I don't know, I had a feeling that was sort of her style, but they have
so she confirmed not. So for those people who don't know, Devon Rue is sort of a famous sort of fantasy cartographer. She does commissions and stuff like that, but she's well known for doing the Critical Role maps of Tal'Dorei and Wildemount and
the Wildemount ones, exactly, which I think are beautiful. And I thought like she has a real quality of style. But hers is definitely much more like cartographic, I'd say, than these ones, which are much more sort of picturesque, I'd say. And
they look very
colourful. It's the borders, which like the Ancelon one in the Dragonlance one, that border, the borders to it with the knights and the dragon heads all coming out of the sides, and absolutely in love. And the Planescape Outlands one is stunning, and also the Sigil one, because there's a really great Sigil one from the previous one, but this one, the way that it's like enhanced all the big buildings again, but with new designs, because some of them are my favorite building designs as an architect. I love to do a piece just on like the mortuary is this cool like dome with these big blades coming out. The Great Foundry looks great in this new one. The Gymnasium's got a new sort of cruciform style to it, which actually looks quite interesting. So I'm really eager to see that, from the book, all this sort of art and stuff is going into it, which is just great already. And from what I read in the document, I'm actually looking at the Bell of Lost Souls as a way to get some information on it, but it states that each of the 12 factions will be mentioned with their ideologies and stuff. So I'm hoping that all of those buildings again are given maps as well, because I think if you're going to be adventuring in Planescape, and particularly if they're focusing on Sigil, factions play such a big role in that. And I am just so hoping, and I'm assuming they will, that they give each of those factions due time and credit within the very limited page numbers they have for that book.
Yes. So what you get in Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse is a free book sort of slipcase, includes 2 96 pages book and 1 64-page book, a DM screen, and the poster map, as you described, which is double-sided. So the books you get are Sigils and the Outlands, which offers a detailed campaign information that serves as an introduction to the Planescape setting, offering backgrounds on the lore, history, NPCs, and locations, and offers new rules and player options. Then you have Mort's Planar Parade, which is basically the monster manual for the new Planescape setting, detailing various creatures that inhabit the city of Sigil and the nearby regions.
50 unusual creatures, as it states, which is quite exciting, including
That is quite exciting.
a time dragon, which I am quite cool.
You're like, tick, tick, tick. What is that? Question mark.
And it says, including plain incarnates, hierarch modrons, I'm assuming the whole hierarch of the modrons, and tie dragons in the encounter builder.
Interesting. Don't know what that means, but that sounds.
It obviously it says
curious.
face within the, so it obviously has a new encounter builder built
Which
into
will probably be in the new rules, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm quite interested to see how that works, because I wonder if they are going to be putting that towards it, as you said, in the new rules.
And then finally, we have a 96-page adventure designed to introduce new players to the world of Planescape. It finds the players forced to uncover the mystery behind a glitch in reality of the multiverse, with much of the action taking place in the Outlands, which is very interesting. Now, something that you said to me, and I was trying to find actual information on it. So I believe this adventure is levels 3 to 10, and then 17.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
So supposedly there's going to be a jump. There's a point in time where you will jump to level 17 at some point, which I'm assuming based on this time traveling glitch in the universe, it's going to be something to do, I imagine, you meet your future selves or you embody your future selves. I don't know. They obviously were watching Dragon's Duel.
Yeah, they were obviously watching.
Well, we jumped to 20. No, I'm just no, but like I think that's really cool. I think giving players a chance to do it. Maybe I imagine maybe the final boss fight you bump to 17 for it, or it's going to be somewhere in the middle where you bump to 17. But it would be kind of fun if it's like it's what I was going to do with the Shattered Realm one, was that everyone was going to get to level 10 and then the two groups were going to join together and then they would absorb one another's powers and become multi-class level 20s. And I think that would be fun. And I think maybe for like the final godlike boss fight, because then you can do that fight. It doesn't mean you have to get all the way to 20. You can just do this, and now the gods give you power, ultimate power, and you have your boss level, your own boss level to fight the boss with.
Interesting. No, I'll be very curious because, again, as I've said on this podcast several times, I want to see a high-level adventure. And I think this is interesting because obviously it is, for me, it's a low-level one, and then sneakily they put in a level 17. I mean, I'm always curious to how this works, and it sounds like, if it's like a jump and then maybe a couple of other one-shots, like you're like, oh, you've been adventuring for a little time, and then here's some more plot hooks that are higher level.
I would suggest as well that like level 3 to 10 in the Outlands sounds like, to go any of the planes, as we well know, going at anything lower than 10, you're probably not going to do a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like you're dead on a unless you're going to like, even if you're going to the nice, like happy-go-lucky ones, there's still something can just befall you at any time. You piss off an angel or something like that.
Like you said, it's not necessarily the inhabitants of the other planes, it's the planes itself. Like you're going to Limbo, or
you end up in Elysium and find yourself in that middle plane where they've trapped all the horrible like evil creatures, and so you're just like oh fuck, I'm in a bog with all these Tessel Hydras and dragons with so I think what people, if I was going to be like saying, hey, you want to make content for Dungeons and Dragons instead of telling wizards what to do, is that creating level 10 to 15 adventures for people in all of the planes would be the next stop, I would suggest. Like level 10 to 15 the Abyss, or plane hopping 1 would be really, am I right in thinking that the Dungeon of the Mad Mage is levels qua? What is it? Levels 10 to fit 20? Is it levels?
It's basically the one straight after Dragon Heist. So Dragon Heist, I think you were saying, goes up to level 5 at least.
Yeah.
So it takes off from there and then continues all the way up. Essentially, the idea that you play them in tandem.
5th to 20th level. Yeah. So I think if they made a Planescape game, like a secondary follow-up to it that was 10 to 20 or 10 to 15 would be really great. But I think that's what if people want to create content, I think making a compendium of 10 to levels, like campaign for 10 to 15 would be really useful, I think.
Well, I wonder, one thing that sort of come up on the forums and stuff, just looking at it, is that I wonder if they're going to produce a free adventure like they did with Spelljammer, which is going to be levels 1 to 2 and 3, to sort of introduce players to the setting that's set in Sigil, and then do a sort of quick release as a build up. But again, I don't know. I we spoke about it, and when we did our Spelljammer review, and we thought it was a very good idea because it's quite a nice little. Here's a taster in case you're not sure. And interestingly, a lot of people on what I was reading were like, "Oh, don't do the pre-order yet. See what it's like when it comes out," because people weren't keen, as we sort of discussed about the Spelljammer in general. Like, we enjoyed quite a bit of it, but it felt like things were missing, or it didn't feel like enough. But we were also spoiled by the fact that we went back and read quite a lot of Spelljammer before.
As someone who's run a Spelljammer campaign using the 5e rules, I actually think for what I made, we did 15 sessions sort of campaigns. I don't know what that is. It's a very mini campaign, but it's still something. And we took it with levels 10 to 15 is what we did. And I felt that the rule set and everything that came with it was good, but I felt it lacked, like, you realize those ships, for example, don't level with you. They're quite an interesting thing. And I think that there's so many things that I had to create beyond it to add to it, to make it something that I think, like, all they offered you was background information. There was an adventure, which we didn't use, but I think the sort of campaign book, I think, should have been twice as long and had so much more, like, what you can do with your ship. These ships need to be able to level, more places to explore, because I think just the Rock of Brawl is not enough for a campaign setting. Yes, you can go to any world in Kryn space and all these things, but, like, at least having the Spelljammer as another location, but having
Where is it?
but having a number of places to go, because we made up some, I made up Star City and stuff like that, and made up other weird, wonderful places to go. I felt that was something that was lacking. Whilst it looks like in this, Sigil and Outlands gives you a lot. You've got Sigil, which is a big city, and we've talked about the urban adventures, and I think, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, you can, as we said, you can have infinite time in Waterdeep. Like, you can play Grand Theft Auto infinitely because it's a city. And the game sort of presents that. But Rock of Brawl it doesn't work with Spelljammer, because Spelljammer is about going to space and
to other
spacing,
places.
right? And going to loads of different places. So having 5 smaller cities would have been better than one big one.
Or even having, like, we've said this before, but in the original Spelljammer setting, there are rules for creating your own planets, like, on the fly. And there was nothing like that in the new Spelljammer, but, like, because obviously we love tables, Wizards loves the table, but there was no, like, oh, what can we go to? As a quick sort of,
it
you
has
think maybe half a page of that.
It has what's its key, like, have like 10 sort of like focuses. Oh, this one's is like a foundry city, or this one is a city focused on trade, or this is a city focused on, like, pleasure, like a holiday destination one. Do you know what I mean? And they could have done things like that.
It's giving you those prompts to help you out, But I think you're right. I think with the Sigil and Outlands book, already it's a slightly bigger page count, so that builds me a little bit like, okay, they've probably had to put quite a lot in there. And maybe that there was, because it says, again, looking on the actual D&D store, it talks about, like, planar character options, details of the fantastic city of doors, which is Sigil, descriptions of the Outlands, and the gate towns that lead to the Outer Planes. So
the gate towns are great as well, and that's a load of good stuff to sort of give you a primer, as we've always said. Like, those gate towns are a great primer for any of the other planes, but I just wish they made more books, because I
want more.
Yeah, because I look at, like, Games Workshop, I go, too many damn books. And I look at Wizards, I go, not enough books, because you just know they're not going to sit there and go, they're not going to make the Guide to the Outer Planes. They're not going to read. And I just don't even know why they don't just literally, Fiona, just take the second edition book, right?
Yeah.
Reprint it. Like, you don't even need to change the, like, hardly. It would take, I imagine, a mid-level person designer to go through any of those books a month, to go through one of those books and literally copy paste the text, have someone doing all the graphic design to make it fit with their template, and literally saying, Dava, all right, copy that for 5e, copy, and literally just
replace, or
yeah, exactly, replace, like, make CRs correct instead of THACO and all that stuff, or ACs, and you'll be like, done. Like, the writing is really modern. I think I think we've, we're going, there are things that need to be sorted, but I think comparative to other books, I think it's very progressive as an ideology, and I think the way that it works kind of works really well. So I think it's not like Al-Qadim or something like that, where you just can't bring it. It's just not.
Or Dark Sun or
Dark
anything
Sun or
like
something like
that.
that. It's literally a really greatly, very positively written, I think, on the whole book series. That's probably why I love it a lot.
I wonder if there is issues with copyright and reprinting and all that sort of thing. So maybe that's similar to the Spelljammer stuff. Obviously, there's all that sort of business of like we've not involved the original
You mean like
folks in
Dragonlance?
it. Dragonlance, but also was it not Spelljammer as well? Was that
Did they?
not being?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, did they? Okay.
So that's the only thing I'd say. Like it's one of those shitty business things. Whereas we think it's really easy, but I wonder if
I
there's
think
lots
if
of
they can do sigil and outlet, I don't know. They own the planes.
Yeah.
They've written paragraphs on all of them. I just think even if it was like, hey, we're going to bring out a digital only 96-page guide to the outer planes, would be really lovely to know that that's coming as a I'm assuming it'll probably be dependent on how it sells. I think just going on the love that has been around for Planescape throughout my time being back in the D&D scene, there is a lot of love for it from those old days. More, I think, than Spelljammer and Dragonlance combined, even in some ways. The amount of I've seen people doing Planescape-based adventures before this has come out, that I hope that this will sell well enough.
I mean, it's very zeitgeist right now, right? Because we've got Marvel, we've got time, all that sort of thing, so it fits well there. But speaking of, sort of talking about sort of like a point of view or sort of like that, obviously Planescape's known for that, and now with the sort of the monster manual version of that, Mort's Planar Parade. So obviously Mort, we've talked about it, I think, very briefly, is a character from Planescape who there was an audio book or an audio drama that you sent me that I listened to, and I was like, oh, and just a nice primer of the planes.
The Guide to the Outlands, which if you see on soon to come out DM's Travel Book Club, we talk about it there, and that's it. Yeah, they did the Guide to the Outlands. It's worth getting. You can, if you go on DMsGuild and you buy it now, the primer, the player's primer of the Outlands or something like that, and it's got a picture of Mort, the skull face on it. It comes with the audio for it, or you can find it on YouTube.
I think it is on YouTube, but I'll put links to it on from Drive Through RPG, obviously, in our thing. But yeah, so that was quite cool because what was nice about it was that it was interviews of people from those planes, and it was almost like it felt very much like this is where I can't remember what they're called now, but they're not called the timekeepers, but in Loki, the people that are tracking the anomalies and stuff like that. It felt like very records from that, and like hearing people and then them dying in various ways, or hearing stuff about the planes and stuff like that was always because it was agents going out to find people to talk to people, and they were like, this person didn't return, and they're like, I wonder why. So I'm actually quite excited because I've talked about it before. Sometimes I'm not a big fan of point of view books, just because sometimes it feels very, very much like it can be a little bit up its own arse, I think sometimes. But then again, when we read Dragon Heist and it had that primer at the back from Volo doing sort of like Welcome to Waterdeep, I actually quite really liked that because it felt very friendly, felt very Lost Planet guide sort of thing. So this is going to be slightly different because it's about the bestiary. It's going to be all the different creatures that we can meet in Sigil or in the Outlands, and so I'm actually looking forward to seeing how they put that across, because there's a little not teaser, but there's an example one on one of the sites I saw, and I was like, oh, it's quite nice. Oh yes, so D&D Beyond, so what is Planescape Adventures in? Shall I send it to you quickly? That might help.
Oh yeah, it's got more there talking. What do digital dice frames and backgrounds have in common? You can get them as a pre-order perks. Psst. I think they're really spiffy, but nobody we've ever asked what they're talking flying skull things.
Exactly.
If they do not have the chant, I will be one of those nerds who gets angry on the internet because I will. Even though I don't really care, I do care, and I will probably be one of those. I can't believe they got rid of chant. If they don't, because I've not seen any chant in this yet. But if they don't call people Burks,
yes, get the lexicon that'll be really cool to have.
I do hope they have it. Oh my gosh, they don't. I can't see anything in here.
It doesn't say it. But one thing I will say is with that Mort's Planar Parade, it does say the DMs looking to level up their campaigns can also find rules for modifying monsters with the power of the planes. So again, maybe more customization rules or help, which maybe doesn't involve the CR rating anymore, which will be quite interesting, I think.
Yeah, I really do hope that there's so much to do in Sigil and the Outlands. There's so much there. So I don't feel like you have to come out the gate with all the planes, but I really hope there's like a Keys from the Golden Vault sort of style, even 16 adventures, all one adventure, like starting adventure set in all the planes of existence.
Agreed.
I think would be a really great, if that's the way we're going to get it, if that's all we're going to get, I'll take it. Do you know what I mean? I'll take that. But if it could be a full campaign, like another, like that would be great.
Feels like a full-on book rather than say like an extra life thing, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because I agree, that would be really cool to have like one level in. It wouldn't be the Abyss to start with, but like Elysium and then Mercury Rope, and then it would be level 17 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. At a level 20, 9 health. We've already got Avernus, so like great. We don't need an Avernus one. Don't even double down. Just don't even give us one. We've already got. I'll accept
just skip
that
Avernus. Go down to Casteri or something. Go
Adventures on the River Styx, or or like exactly. I don't know, something like that. Like do a lower planes and a higher planes one, or
something like that. That'd be quite
Modern
cool.
March. I don't know.
Oh, the Great Modern March, absolutely, because that is pretty fun. So just to say that Planescape, I've looked it up. It is the 17th of October. It's coming out, like officially, probably in the US, probably later for us.
2 days before I've booked my holiday this year.
Oh,
because I go on the 19th to come back the day before MCM. So that week before MCM, I'll be on the beach reading. I'm literally gonna buy it. This is like, as in, because I buy them all I have them all digitally, get them all digitally. But this is the one. This is the one since the Player's Handbook. I am going to buy physically.
You're going to buy it digitally.
I have a lot of physical books. I just don't have Dungeons and Dragons and ones.
I think that's fair. Like again, like I say, if you're not so sure about this, I would highly recommend checking out any digital. Maybe, like I said, maybe there will be like a primer or a special adventure. So checking it out there before. Because again, we're appreciating the cost of living crisis, especially because these books, they are going to be much more expensive. I can see, according to this particular blog, it will retail for about $60-ish.
Which means it'd be £60.
It's going to be £60 for us UK folks. So I think it's an exciting time. It's interesting, again, with all these books coming out. Like I said, I'm very excited for Big Bees. I think the Shattered Opaliths one will be quite interesting as well. Obviously, people are quite excited for that. And then we've got the one thing I wanted to mention, because we just had a quick look at it before we came on to record, was the Book of Many Things. So this, we've talked about it as a player-focused guide for new spells, character options, and magic items, all based on the legendary D&D artifact known as a Deck of Many Things. It's going to be released in November, and it is coming with a physical set of cards. Now, you may be like, Fiona, I bet you've got plenty of Deck of Many Things, and you'd be right. However, this actual illustrated set of cards are designed to represent the Deck of Many Things itself. Consists of 22 cards from the original Deck of Many Things, as described in the DM's guide, along with 44 new cards. And so I'm like, well, damn it, I'm going to have to buy that. But then it talks about the book as well. It's a 192 pages book detailing the history of the Deck of Many Things and advice on how to use it in an existing setting, along with adventure hooks, new monsters, character options, magic items, etc., and along with a card reference guide of 80 pages. That is a lot, right? For an artifact that we've spoken about on this podcast before and given ideas about it. Like, I think there's only so much we could have brought up with it, but that's a box set worth.
Yeah, it's 60 quid again, basically, but it looks lovely. I mean, the amount of people on the internet who have made Deck of Many Things that people can buy, I think it's an obvious thing people love. It's such a great campaign, just like feel the campaign's languishing, just get the Deck of Many Aces out and use Deck of Many Aces, Deck of Many Things. Sorry, Deck of Many Aces is
you're
Friends podcast. Love Deck of Many Aces, though, go listen to them. But I think if you bought 3 Dragon Ante, so I'm assuming you're going to buy this as well. You'll buy any shit they make.
I will buy any prop. I love a good prop. I think like it comes in a very nice presentation box. The art, the bits I can see look incredible. I'm just a bit shocked really that it's 192 pages. Like that's more, I think, if I get my math right. It's all about the same.
It's 96 plus 96, so it's the 2 books put together.
Well, I was thinking, it's maybe just equal to the whole set of a Spelljammer as well. Yeah, Spelljammer, all the books in that were all 64 pages. So that's the thing. So like one book of the Book of Many Things is almost equal to in page number as a whole set.
It's got more pages because of the 80-page guidebook as well. So it's actually more pages. They did more on on one set of cards,
one item,
than 16 fecking
and Planescape as well. So
I mean, as the planes and Planescape, they could have done.
So that's why I sort of brought it up. I was a little bit curious that they've put in so much effort into that. Like, don't get me wrong, I like that sort of thing, but
it's interesting.
You could play whole campaigns without that. Whereas I would say it's more likely you go, let's go to a different plane. Let's go to space. So I just thought I'd bring it up as something interesting. But yes, I'm sure I will get a set of them, and I'd be like, oh, especially because I think maybe it's because they've expanded it to have these, like, to have 66 cards in total, which I find bonkers. And also I'm a bit like, I don't know, I don't know about yourself, because when we talked about like what other cards would be introduced to, I think we only introduced like a couple of other ones that customizable, which is great, but I think 30 cards would be fine, right? Or even getting up to maybe a full playing card back, so that you can all use playing cards instead. But 66 cards is unless that's the same, I don't know if that's the same amount as like a tarot deck. Actually, that might explain why.
I don't know a tarot deck.
Tarot cards are 78, so it doesn't even make that number.
It just makes it's 22. It's just doubled, isn't it? Makes 66, which is
I think yes, because I guess the original 22 was supposed to use the major arcana from the tarot card deck, etc. But so I don't know. Anyway, so it's just an interesting choice, I guess. I don't know. Like I'm more for like less is more, but maybe they thought of different mechanics. Maybe it's more role play-esque, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe more prompts to be like to the players, like, oh, what's the most precious thing to you? Okay, you don't have it anymore, or you have too many of it, or something like that.
Or you have too many.
Too many. It's not precious anymore. Everyone has one.
I am actually more excited than I probably should be. Do you know? I don't know if that's the right wording, but like, as in, I think that sounds really exciting, and I'm shocked that they've made so much of a very simple thing. And it could be. It sounds like the kind of book we keep asking for, which is, here is a lot of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And to add to, just take and add to your campaign wherever you are, wherein you are, because I think that's really useful. Because as much as adventures are, this is adventure hooks and it's magic items. It's just lots of, it's like a good like menagerie of things without it being like a rules menagerie we've had, and we've had adventure menageries. We haven't had a really like, since the DM's guide of, here's a dump load of stuff for you to just muck around with. And
magic item related. Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go. Well, thank you so much, Hamilton, for having a quick sort of like reaction to,
pleasure.
I guess, you just, more stuff we're going to buy.
More stuff. Money that's going to go down drains, but good drains.
Well, down drains, but also stuff I definitely think both of these things we would both use in different campaigns in different ways. So
personally, Fiona, like with the Planescape thing, all of you out there can just go and play Planescape right now. And you don't need the 5e book to do it. And I don't need the 5e book. They are getting me with the nostalgia hit that I'm going to buy it, but to be, and to see what they changed, and if to have updated imagery of it. But I recommend everyone out there to listen to our podcast we've done already, if you haven't watched it, but also if you are interested in it, like go get, there's a sale on DMsGuild right now. It's July, and Christmas is in July. You can get everything 25% off if you are interested. Getting any of those books or any of those planar compendiums like the Planes of Chaos or whichever one you find interesting is worth the money, I think.
I know you talked about Boas already, but where can we find you on the internet, or what's coming up for you, my friend?
Where can you find me on the internet? Well, if you like pirates, pirates, but with a bit of a Morkborg twist, I will be playing on August the 3rd. I don't know if this is going to be out before then, probably. Yeah. August the 3rd and 10th. I had to add 7 to that quickly. I will be playing in a game of Pirate Borg with the wonderful and fabulous Tay Van Bion, and Maddie Searle is our DM. Maddie,
fab.
Yeah, so I've not met Maddie before, but I've seen things with them in and about things, because they do Realms. They're a part of the Realms.
Peril and Glory.
Realms Peril and Glory. And who else is on it with me is we've got Beth from We Fix Space Junk podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've also got Laura from the Realms of Peril and Glory as well. That was the other person.
Oh,
Sorry.
fab. Yes. So yeah, you got a lot of realms folks going on, but they're
A lot of Realms folks in there.
very lovely.
But a
Yes.
couple of nods. There's, me and We Fix Space Junk People and Backward Bastards. So obviously that's kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to that. I played Pirate Borg and never completed that with Taylor before. And so if it's anything like what last time we played, it was a load of fun. It was some of the funnest games I've ever played. And actually, I'm kind of happy that they've stayed at home because they were just crazy. But I've had a lot of fun playing it. I'm looking forward to it. If anyone's played Monkey Island, I've themed my character off LeChuck because I read the book and there's a character in it called Lord Hamilton. And I was like, well, I can't not play Lord Hamilton because it's who I was born to play.
That's me.
Yeah, but I've sort of changed up their story so that instead of being this Lord of Jamaica that they were sort of like forced out of England, sent to Jamaica as like penance, and they actually hate the British and their sort of imperial ways. So they've sort of stolen all the money from that the British gave them, taken that all away, given the city back to its people, and sort of just farted off with the money and the biggest ship he could find to go and sink all the British ships and stop them from taking over the pirate isles.
Incredible.
But because of that has become cursed with anger and possessed by some sort of demon through the anger. Like the anger
as you do.
So I'm a demon lord pirate Hamilton. And I can just be my name. It's going to be so
just be
easy.
you. It's easy. Yeah,
it
easy.
Have to be me, but demonified up. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, there we go. What about you? When, where, what, why, how, who, something?
Something where? Who am I? My name is Fiona. What am I? I am a podcaster, voiceover person, and lots of improv in between. Where am I? So physically, I am in a childhood bedroom for now. When am I? We're recording this on a Tuesday. It's going to come out tomorrow, so going to be quickly on the edit tomorrow. Edit. You got to do the fingers. But where? I'm so glad you asked. So I am the host of What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly RPG one-shot podcast where we do lots of different RPG systems and sometimes interviews with game designers. Recently, we've got Die, the RPG, that's coming out very, very slowly. My mother said she's going to stop listening to it because she finds it too grim. And I was like, yep, that is fair. But there's lots of content warnings on that, but it's one of my favorite ones I've run, strictly speaking, as somebody who was technically the GMs in it are also players. It's definitely something I would definitely do a read through briefly. It is quite a big book, so maybe I'll find a quick start and go through it for too long. Didn't read tabletop RPG streams. Other than that, I've got a few more bits and pieces coming out. We've got Flabbergasted, which, funnily enough, Realms of Peril and Glory, Zach, the sort of GM for that, ran that for me and a couple of other Realms folks, which was really, really fun. Think of like a 1920 sort of European sort of like a Jeeves of Worcester type sort of game. It was very, very fun, very, very much chaotic ensued, but it was very positive and lovely. We'll still have Shiver is in the works to be edited and come that out.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's great fun. And that was with our friends at Doma, Deck of Many Aces as well.
Yes.
So it's I'm slowly going through the backlog of stuff, but I'm also thinking of doing some other sort of live streams. There's some solo RPGs I've been in talk with the people from Shiver, actually, the Parabol Games. They've got a new game that's just been called Don't Play This RPG, which is a solo RPG inspired by found footage, and I've been like, that's really cool. Can I get the demo so I can do something with that? So yes, hopefully we'll get an interview with those folks. And yeah, I'm just living my life. I'm unfortunately not going up to Edinburgh Fringe this year, but if people are, I highly recommend going to see Improbotics, which is my improv team. I know.
Are you going?
I'm not going.
Oh.
No, I'm not going. I'd recommend it because it's improv with AI. I know I appreciate some people are a bit iffy about AI at the moment, but they've been doing it since 2017, and it is about using AI as improvisers and how silly and wacky it can be through the gift of improv. So I'd highly recommend checking those folks out as well. And that's kind of it for me as well. I've got a few other things on the back burner, but I don't know if they're going to happen. So I'm just going to be like super quiet about it until it happens. So.
I'm exactly in the same place.
We're both super busy. But the final thing I'll quickly mention is that we do have a Discord. We're doing lots of stuff in the Discord. It's been very lovely. We've been talking about doing more secret film clubs, which is so secret that we tell you about it every time. We've also got a few other bits and pieces. We might be bringing back a couple of things that we've done and maybe doing some live recordings or live viewings of our stuff. We've got maybe a choose your own adventure plan for DM's book club. So it's all pretty exciting, really.
Interesting. I'm sure that's so interesting what you were saying.
I think we're done now.
I think we're done. I found the notification again now. It's join the flip side.
Join on the
flip side, which is a Samsung thing.
Oh, Samsung, sorry.
Samsung, yeah. So they've got this new. So they are our sponsors.
I did not claim this, but yeah. So apparently there's a marketing thing where Samsung is like, join us on the flip side for their new flip phones.
And because I freaking what's his name quote tweeted it, I now get tweets like every day going, at the Dragon DM, when you can't look away as the Samsung Unpacked live stream draws near on July 26th at 8 o'clock.
Oh, you idiot.
So I'm now getting these fucking adverts for it all the freaking time. So
I think
anyway,
we're not joining the flip side anytime soon then,
I'm going to try and cancel the fucking flips. Anyway, no, it's so fine.
Funny. What
with that, though, all we've got is to say, we will see you on the flip side.
Flip side.
I was trying to do the you do one, I do one, but you were just doing the mirror. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was doing mirror.
So why don't we see you
on the
flip
side?
Yeah, that was nice.
Bye.
Bye.